theory in a nutshell, diminished seventh chords, also known as dim 7 or 7 diminished seventh. Notice the lowercase Roman numerals there. A diminished seventh chord is built on the leading tone of any minor scale. For our purposes right now, and it's introduced in the RCM theory curriculum in level 7, that we will always be doing it in a minor key and in root position. So it's built on the leading tone of any minor scale, so the raised seventh note. There are four notes in the chord. It is built with a minor third, a diminished fifth, and a diminished seventh. So that bass triad underneath here is a diminished triad. So it's a minor third, a diminished fifth, a diminished seventh. We can also see that each of these is a minor third. There's a minor third, B to a D is a minor third, and D to an F is a minor third. So it's built of minor thirds. Now, the root quality and functional chord symbols are fairly simple. The functional chord symbols are always the same. It's lowercase 7, or VII as some of my students call it, with a diminished sign and a 7. So you've got a 7 diminished seventh chord. Okay, it's a 7 chord diminished triad with a diminished seventh on top. Now, the root quality chords, the root of course is G sharp, because we're in A minor, that's a raised seventh, the leading tone. And you can either say dim 7, right, because it's G sharp diminished triad with a 7 on top, or you can just say G sharp with a little diminished circle, 7. So either of these is correct. G sharp dim 7 or G sharp dim 7. Okay, so there are two different root quality chord symbols. One functional chord symbol. Remember, the functional chord symbols go back to the key, the tonic. Now, to identify diminished seventh chords, we know that the bottom note is going to be the raised leading tone of the minor key. Okay, so here we've got a key signature. It's a little easier, I suppose. We can already say that, well, 4 flats is an F minor, and there's your raised leading tone. The seventh note of F minor is E, or you can just think down a half step from the F, right? Because we know that the leading tone is always 1/2 step below the tonic note. Okay, so there we've got our E natural, G, B flat, D flat. But we don't have to worry about the flats because the key signature looks after that. If we do not have a key signature, first of all, we don't have to raise our seventh note because there's no key signature to raise it from, but we do have to make sure we put our key signature notes in there. Okay, so remember, it starts 1/2 step below the tonic note. You don't want to have to count up 7. I have students who will count up 7. I'll say, okay, well, what's the leading tone of F minor? And they're counting up on their fingers to 7. All you have to do is look down a half step. I do tell them that. All right, now, writing out diminished seventh chords. So with a key signature is easy. D minor, I hope that you know your minors pretty well. So D minor, if you forget how to do that, you go up 3 half steps and 3 note names. So D minor 1, 2, 3, same as F major, we have 1 flat there. And the leading tone of D minor, don't count up 7, just think back. 1/2 step below is C sharp. And of course we have to put the sharp in because that is our leading tone. It's going to have an accidental, right? And then we just build our chord, just like that. F minor has 4 flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. I hope you thought of that quick enough. You know the relative major. So what's the 7th note of F? It's going to be an E natural. That's what we did on the other page. So you've got an E natural. It's been raised. Boom, boom, boom. There we go, 4-note chord. B minor. What's that one? Have you got it yet? F sharp and C sharp. The relative is D major. The 7th note, raised leading tone, of the leading tone, the raised 7th. B is right here. It's going to be an A sharp. So there we go. Here's our A sharp. Boom, boom, boom. Done. So it has this raised bottom note. Now, if we're writing out a diminished seventh without a key signature and just using accidentals, you just have to think a little bit differently in the sense that, okay, well, D minor, you're not writing it in here, but just remind yourself what's in D minor. Again, think about what's 1/2 step below it. Okay, there's your C sharp, E, G, B, Has a B flat in the key signature, so I have to add that in. Whoops, that wasn't a really good B flat. So remember, yes, there can be flats and sharps in the same chord when you're doing diminished seventh chords. Now, F minor, we know it has a B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. I'm a big believer in writing things out so you don't, because if you do everything in your head, it's really easy to forget things. Okay, so hopefully you work with a keyboard, or you have a keyboard in your head. That would be helpful. 1/2 step below an F is an E. We don't have to put a natural because there's no key signature, so it already is natural. E, G, B, D. We build our line, 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 line. Now we know that there is a B flat, and we know that there is a D flat. Please do not put them on top of each other. That's very messy and it's hard to read. One should be out, a little bit offset. B minor, we know that has an F sharp and a C sharp. Okay, now we also know that the raised seventh, going down, we also did it up here, so we know it, is an A sharp. Don't forget to put your sharp or natural, or not natural if you have a key signature, sharp there, because some people think, oh yeah, it's an A sharp, and then they forget to put that in after because they're thinking of the key signature. Make sure you get that in there. Okay. Here we have a C sharp right beside that again. See, I offset that C sharp so it's not right on top and all messy. A sharp, C sharp, E, and G. Yay, they're done. Same as those. When you play them, they just look a little different because you have to add all these accidentals in. There's no key signature. Okay? That's how you do diminished sevenths. Hope that helped.